Hi, my name is Margaret, Peggy, Muggs, Maggie, Marge, Cupkey, Sattler, Salonia, Sattler. Born 1935, April 10th, in Cloquet, Minnesota, on Grandpa Murray's farm, in a cabin in the woods that Grandpa made for my mom and my father. My mom, Elizabeth Catherine Grace, and my father, Fred Cupkey, were married through the will of Grandpa. And in those days they called it a shotgun wedding. My father left, and then Mr. Reed entered the scene. My mom took me to Duluth to live with them because Barb had to go to school. Barb was 3 years older than me. I had a disease called rickets, which means you're not getting enough milk. So when my grandfather and grandmother saw that, they took me home with them. Living on the farm was wonderful, that I remember. Grandpa built the house. They had 9 children, 4 boys and 5 girls. And my Uncle Bill and Uncle Mike and Martha were there when I was young. Grandpa was always, to me, he always looked grumpy by that picture. That's just how he looked. And he was only interested, it seemed, milking his cows, taking care of his farm, cutting wood. He used to go and get the wood with the horses, bring it home, saw it, chop it, and just take care of the whole farm. Grandpa had apparently really good cows. They gave excellent cream because he used to sell it. And that was how they made some of their money. I remember one time he had lambs, and we brought one of the baby lambs we had to bring in, and we put it behind the stove. We had a nice big kitchen stove to warm it up and bring it back to life. But as he got older, he got very mellow and kind and loving, and his whole personality, maybe he was always that way, but we didn't see him like that because he was always busy carrying water. He had to walk a little ways to get water and bring it to the house. And Grandma was always after us to conserve the water, don't waste it. And Grandpa used to get up really early and put the coffee on, and I could always smell that coffee in the morning. And sometimes if I wanted an egg for breakfast, I would go out and get it from the chicken. Grandma had tons of chickens all over the place. I remember certain things like Barb and I, when we went to bed at night, we slept with Grandma because she would tell us stories. She had such an imagination. I don't know if the stories were true or not, but she told us about a flood and a fire, and her youngest daughter, my Aunt Martha, her hair got burned off, and just all these fantastic stories. She loved music. She was deaf, and she had a goiter, but she loved people. Barb and I, as we got older, we used to harmonize in her ear. Barb would be on one side and I on the other, and she loved it. And she also played the harmonica, and She used to write stories and send them into magazines. She had tons and tons. I think she was a hoarder, because she always had tons and tons of books and all kinds of stuff. In fact, my uncle made a special shed for her to keep all that stuff in. But eventually, it would end up being in the house again, so they'd have to clear it out and bring it out there. And Barb and I had more fun going out there looking through everything, and Grandpa would get so angry with us because he wouldn't, didn't want us to disturb her stuff. But she was always so loving to us. I loved her so much.